what you're saying is, I think a lot of parents today, they look at it like, they're just teenagers. They're just going through it. They're just going through a season or something. But really what's happening is they're deeply desiring encouragement, right?
Yeah.
Even though they may kind of act like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And they try to pretend like that, but really they ultimately want encouragement.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jackie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Well, hello again, ladies.
Hello. Hello again.
Long time no see.
I know, right?
By the way, speaking of tennis, I heard, the other day when I played tennis, I had a really quiet game of tennis. You know why? There was no racket. That one's pretty bad.
That one's corny.
Sometimes the corny ones hit the best, though. Right?
I had to process that. I'm like, wait, no racket. There's a racket in your hand, though.
Let's shift. I know we've been doing deep talk about teenagers, and you guys have been completely unprepared for this, and you're doing great. It's kind of a running joke around here because Mom's always super organized and tells you what the topic's going to be, and you guys get to show up with your bullet points, and you have to know, and I'm not going to tell you anything until you sit down.
Yeah, Mom was like last night, so Dad, what are you going to talk about with the girls? And Dad's like, oh, it's going to be right there. They're not going to know.
Yeah, that's right.
Dad's like, I'm going to know, but they're not going to know. I'm like, oh, gotcha.
So I want to talk about what actually earns respect from teenagers, okay? And, every parent wants respect from their kids, but most are going about it the wrong way. I'm sure you'd probably agree with this, but let me ask you guys, what makes you respect a parent?
I think one thing for sure is knowing the standards. Then you know how to respect. Since we were young and, all the discipline that we had there, but now being a teenager, you don't discipline us in the same way. But I think knowing the standards of what makes you feel respected is for sure. Like for Mom, I feel like knowing that the house is cleaned up, that we're really taking care of the kids, that we're like keeping everything in line after she organized everything and really following what she said. I think that shows her respect and honor. And I think for you, really making sure that we can be respectful that you are working, and being on time for the things that you are coming to do with us, that shows you respect. So I think knowing the standards.
You're right, like honoring our roles and what needs to get done and how we have to play as a team. And, our life's very busy with 6 kids and multiple businesses and all your guys' sports. And so, as you guys know, we have a very structured schedule to get things done. And that includes everyday stuff. It includes when are meals getting made and when's laundry getting done and when's the garbage getting taken out and when do I need you to join me on a podcast or whatever? You got to get your homework done. The tennis schedule is different this week because there was rain last week and there's a day we didn't expect. And then Mom's in a mastermind right now. And, there's
when are we taking the kids to their practice? When are we picking them up? Who's picking them up?
Yeah. And you're right. It's like for us, we do feel very respected when you guys work well within that. And you guys do. So that's good.
I also feel like another thing is not arguing with the plan. At first though, like when we bring it up, you guys always ask our opinions. They're like, we're going to set this in, but we want to know how you guys feel and if there's any little tweaks, but we'll have the final say.
Okay.
And I feel like having that, we now understand why the plan is there.
Okay. That's good.
We understand behind the scenes.
So what do you think, Bella, that actually makes the average kid respect the parent? Not how do they make the parent feel respected, but what do you think actually do they see? I mean, is it things like what they do consistently? Is it maybe how the parent talks, acts, leads?
Yeah, I feel like I respect you guys when there's seasons where you're like teaching us a lot of different things, but then after those seasons to really have us kind of figure it out and just like trust us to be able to make good decisions, not be like kind of over our shoulder or whatever. It's just like, I respect when you guys give us more trust or whatever it is. It's just, or like even encouragement. I respect when parents are encouraging and never like pulling down, just always seeing the positive in situations. And like I said, when they trust us, like in baby steps, even if it is in baby steps, not really like one day you're trusting us, one day it's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. Okay. All right. What do you think makes the average kid out there, your age, teenagers, what do you think makes the kid lose respect for their parents?
When their parents like really nagging or whatever it is, just being very controlling, I feel like it just kind of makes them lose respect and kind of have a barrier between their relationship.
It's interesting. So you are at a season right now at 17 where you want standards, you want guidelines, you want encouragement, but you also want a level of freedom, right?
Yeah.
And to you, giving you a level of freedom makes you feel trusted.
But like with certain boundaries, like we understand the boundaries of when we overstep it, you know, we understand where the freedom can happen, like in this certain space, you know, but then make sure we don't cross this border, you know, not a whole bunch of guardrails where it seems like you're only in like a teeny ball, but like giving enough where you can actually move around.
Do you think that some of your peers, some of your other kids out there, do you think that they could, I mean, you can see that they don't show a lot of respect to their parents, right? But why do you think it's that way?
I think it's, first of all, the parent has to set standards and initiate it themselves. They need to be the example.
Got it.
Because we see that, of course, from you guys also to people that you know you should respect as well. We see respect from you to people of higher, like, that you should respect. We see it firsthand from you guys, so then we know how to initiate it as well. And then also with the standards, then we know you also tell us how to do it. You know, you don't just leave us like, this is how you're going to do it. Of course, you give us some freedom in certain areas, but when it comes to respecting you guys specifically, you tell us how you like it.
So some of these other kids that come across as disrespectful, it could be because they've lost respect for their parents, because maybe their parents aren't setting a good example, or maybe they aren't consistent, or maybe
I feel like consistency for sure is one
maybe
of them.
they aren't exemplifying that of what would be respected, right? In other words, if, you know, we teach you guys always to respect authority, and even if you don't agree with it, you're right. And so you guys are always super respectful of your coach, but then you see some kids who aren't. And if they aren't, that usually is probably being modeled because a kid is learning to not be respectful, right?
Yeah.
Things like that. Is there anything that you think that parents do that a kid your age would make them stop taking them seriously?
I think one thing that can like really like hinder your relationship between the kid and the parent is when the parent like almost like kiddingly makes fun of their kid for doing certain things, even though it really wasn't funny or it really hurt their feelings by the way they did it. They thought they were doing something right, but then the parent's like, oh, you just did that, you know, trying to kind of be lighthearted, but it like kind of really hurt their feelings, you know, because then they see that example and then they probably start initiating it, and then they wonder when they don't have friends because their friends feel hurt by them. So I feel like I've seen that before, and I could see both sides, but I see where the kids are like, they also start disengaging from the parents because they feel like they're going to be judged every time they do something, you know, even if it's something wrong, then it's brought up in public, you know, instead of just talked about in the home first. So
Bella, do you think that parents, can they be strong and still be close to their kids? Or do you think that one hurts the other?
I don't think so. I mean, you and Mom have done a great job. I mean, you both are strong people, strong personalities, and strong leaders, and you guys have done a really great job of just like keeping all of us a close family, and I feel like that it can make a great balance for a family.
Yeah, I think if there's something that I've seen for all the parents out there, it's that there is this intentional balance of strictness of standards, right, that are well communicated,
right.
that are consistently held, but then also there's an intentionality of being close with your kids,
right,
creating space to do things that just bring you together more.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I know especially my generation, this is like part of this whole conversation about how's your generation different than probably what ours was. Our generation, I feel like most parenting, because everybody else my age kind of says the same thing. They were taught that just being strict is showing love, right? but they didn't really make space for relationship beyond just discipline, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. And so there was always this, like, I got to keep my kids kind of at a distance from me, because then I have authority with them.
Sure.
That's what it felt like, growing up. And of course, we've kind of learned that that's probably not the best method. Mm-hmm. There needs to be a balance of both.
Yeah.
There needs to be an honor and a respect for the authority that a parent carries, but at the same time, there needs to be a closeness and a love that actually keeps you as connected as possible.
Yeah, just look at Jesus, right?
That's good.
He was all love, but he also had to put rules in place. Mm-hmm. Just boundaries for his disciples. And they could follow it or not, but it would disconnect or connect them closer.
That's true. You're right. But he was super loving in a long way. So do you guys ever see the example of parents being too strict with some of the peers?
I kind of feel
or is it the opposite?
I kind of feel like it's almost the opposite a little bit, just because I feel like they try to enforce it and then they feel too bad, so they kind of let them out of it. At first they seem like they're going to be at it.
So what would you guys say are some of the biggest parenting mistakes that you see?
Timeout. I feel like timeout is something that should not be taught even when they're little, but I think right now is taking away certain things. Whether it's we had a friend and their parents had taken away her phone because she just did something, but then the other day she went to have lunch with her friends, but they forgot her, so she had no contact. She was left at the yeah, she was left.
Good friends.
I know, they totally. Well, they thought they were in the other car, but the other one thought that they were in the other car. I feel like that's also holding a grudge for too long. When you do this, you can't have this for so long. Then it feels like it's just prolonged forever. And I never liked that. I liked when it was just I knew it was done with and we could just move on. So that's one thing I don't think is the best way to teach your kids.
Okay. Bella, for other parents out there, what do you think? What would you tell parents to do differently? What would instantly improve the relationship with your kids?
I feel like identifying your child's love languages and then start fulfilling them would definitely be a big one.
That's a big lever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It just expresses how much you're cared for.
Right.
When someone gets to know you that individually and then, tailors their efforts towards that.
Right.
I think it's huge. I think also the other way around, teaching the kids how to actually know the parents' love languages.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then it just brings you closer.
Yeah.
I told you guys a while ago that part of, especially when you have a big family, a big part of the quality of relationship from a kid to a parent is actually the kid's responsibility when you start getting older. You have to pursue relationship as much as your parent is pursuing a relationship with you.
Right.
And I know you guys know that. Okay, last question on this one. What do you guys think that the average teenager actually wants from a parent?
I would say that they want connection, but never having boundaries for even just different principles in life, and never the parent crossing different boundaries about always whatever it is, always getting all over them about certain things. I know that there's times and seasons for that, but having your parent kind of have your back, but also you guys are both feeling each other's love languages, and I lost my train of thought, but you get the idea.
I like it. Got it. Started drifting towards the end of that one there, huh? Happens to the best of us, for sure. Abby, what do you think that the average teen actually wants from parents? I'm saying it specifically in this season of being 17 years old.
I think they want an encourager. I feel like I see people on the tennis team, and there's this one girl, and she's really loves how we always have siblings and stuff. She's I wish I had siblings, and I never see her parents coming out. Sophia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never see her parents come out and stuff like that. I don't know if she's just getting the encouragement that she thinks. And I know they also had her later in life. They didn't think they were going to have kids.
She's an assassin on the tennis court. She is so good.
She is so good. I just don't think she's getting proper encouragement. I don't think she's even thinking about going to college with tennis.
She's kind of alone all the time. And seems like she doesn't really know how to fit with the team because she's at such a higher level.
Yeah.
Skill-wise. So people are a little intimidated by her.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, though, that she says to you that she wished she had siblings.
She does.
So what she's really saying, she wishes she had the support.
Yeah, I think so. And I think she wished she had somebody to like hang out with her a lot, you know, and I just don't feel like that her parents always give that to her. Probably not even noticing it or whatever. Maybe they're busy or whatever, but I just don't feel like her tank is filled up.
Wow. We should make some space for her.
Yeah.
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 I mean, maybe she'd want to hang with you guys a little bit, you know, from time to time.
Yeah. She's super sweet. She's like the sweetest girl. I just don't feel like she's like filled up. And then there comes like one like Ava, you know, and you can tell she's trying to get attention from all the boys and stuff because she's probably not filled up either. You know what I mean? And then there's another guy that's always bragging about himself. You know, I just don't think he gets the words that he needs. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that teens need is they need to get filled up. Not in like a babyish way, but just like more in like adult way where they feel love, but then they also feel like they are also an adult.
So good. So what you're ultimately saying is, you know, a lot of kids in this season is they're all kind of acting a certain way, whether it's like being overly playful or overly loud, or that's all the boys, but but maybe some of the girls are even kind of like what you're saying is, I think a lot of parents today, they look at it like, they're just teenagers, they're just going through a season or something. But really what's happening is they're deeply desiring encouragement. Right?
Yeah.
Even though they may kind of act like I don't care.
Yeah.
And they try to pretend like that, but really they ultimately want encouragement.
And I feel like one thing for parents is like, don't give up on the first try. They might like try to resist it because they think maybe it's going to be inconsistent. I don't know if this is a trick. Is this going to be like something like where they start doing it and then it's like, oh, they didn't really mean anything by it.
Yeah, so I don't want to engage my heart into enjoying this if you're going to pull it away from me again right away.
Exactly. Or like, are you, like for parents that maybe didn't mean to, but like, are you going to kid with me afterwards? You know, of what I did, like, oh, great shot. And then it was just like actually a really funny thing you were kind of trying to say to them. I just feel like you got to keep it consistently for a while and then it will start turning. It takes time.
Okay. Well, this is a great episode. I'll tell you, parents, you know, respect isn't demanded. It is built through leadership. And if you desire being respected in your household, we created what's called the Strong Family Blueprint. And you can just DM us or comment the word family, and we'll send it to you guys because we want to be able to help you out. Okay. Good job, girls.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.